How well do 1970s sketches translate to modern miniatures? Today we find out as we look at Wizkids Dungeons & Dragons Miniatures Classic Collection, Monsters K through N. I'm Jeff, and you're watching College of Circles Miniature Reviews. Welcome to College of Circles. In this video, I'll be reviewing Wizkids' latest figure collection, Dungeons & Dragons Miniatures Classic Collection Monsters K through N, which I will simply call Classic Monsters K through N. This set has an MSRP of $89.99 and was released on March 13th, 2024. It features 8 figures, all inspired by sketches that first appeared in the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Monster Manual from 1977. The box itself features the original cover from that book. If you're enjoying this content, please like, subscribe, and share. I can't grow this channel without your support, and it is much appreciated. With all of that said, here are the figures. First up, we have a true D&D classic and one of my favorite monsters to run as a DM, the Humble Kobold. This has a nice sculpt showing his teeth as well as the different layers of his clothing. The paint is a little blotchy, but he does have one of the better poses in this set, and he is the figure most likely to be played as an NPC, as he is tailor-made to be a swashbuckler rogue. Our next figure is the Lich. This figure had the least to work with from the original art, and the designers did a great job filling out the details in the Lich's robe. It looks like it is floating down a dungeon hallway with a mysterious wind blowing its cloak up. It also boasts a good paint job throughout the figure. The third figure is a Lizardfolk, although in the original monster manual he was referred to as a lizard man. Another solid sculpt and a cool pose. The one issue I have with this figure is it apparently has some moss on its shield, but that moss is painted the same color as his skin, so it comes off looking like a botched paint job. Out of all of these figures, the Mind Flayer suffers the most from its ties to the original artwork. Mind Flayers have come a long way since 1977. Here it looks less cosmic horror and more Saturday morning cartoon villain. While I like his robe, there is almost no detail in the head sculpt. As Mind Flayers go, this will be the last one I grab for any of my games. The fifth figure is the Minitar, and this one is all detail in the sculpt. Although that detail would have been better accentuated if the Minitar's skin and fur were slightly different colors. On a positive note for the paint, really nice touch of having his hands leave blood on the handles of his axe. This also gives me an opportunity to plug one of my all-time favorite video games, Might and Magic 6: The Mandate of Heaven. This figure looks almost identical to the Minotaurs from that game, although they had the decency of wearing pants. Our sixth figure is the Merfolk, which is another updated name from the original name of Merman. This figure looks like he crossed paths with the boy from the Twilight Zone episode It's a Good Life, and that he has no indication of having a mouth. He even has a mouth in the original artwork, but Wizkids just forgot Merfolk also need to eat. Otherwise, this is one of the best paint jobs in this set. The penultimate figure needs no introduction. The Mummy is one of the most iconic monsters in all of fantasy and horror. This is a really cool miniature, with the Mummy pushing open the lid of his sarcophagus and fighting through the piled up sand around it. The big issue with this miniature is its dual status as a figure and as set dressing. You almost need to have a separate Mummy figure once he starts moving around in order to maintain verisimilitude. Our eighth and final figure is the Naga. This is also the creepiest entry, both in the original artwork and in the figure itself. There's something about those eyelashes that just weirds me out. She kind of reminds me of Buffalo Bill putting on makeup in Silence of the Lambs. Otherwise, a solid figure. So I was skeptical about this line at first, mainly due to the price tag. At $11.25 per figure, they are priced on the high end of premium figures, and quite frankly, the photos I've seen of these figures were not impressive. However, I have to say I am pleasantly surprised, and my overall scores of the figures don't do justice to how well they are made. Let's start with the packaging. The box itself is a display piece on its own, and each figure sits comfortably inside its plastic bubble without any wires tying them down. It's a small thing, but all the figures came right out and there was no danger of them breaking as I removed them from the bubble, which has been a recurring issue with Wizkids figures. Second, these figures are noticeably sturdier than most Wizkids figures. The plastic feels stiffer, and all of them feel more rigid than other figures I bought recently. This should be the standard for all miniatures. And my final observation, while all of the poses are pretty generic, the sculpts and paints are exceptionally well executed throughout. The artwork they are based on aren't very detailed, but the figure designers here did an amazing job of staying faithful to that original artwork while also modernizing it. Overall, I love this set, highly recommend seeking it out, and now I'm going to go back and get the previous sets in this line. So that was my review of Classic Monsters K through N. How did you like these figures? Leave a comment below and be on the lookout for my first Wizkids figure giveaway. I'm Jeff, thank you for watching College of Circles. I'll see you in the next video.